The first knock came at 2:13 a.m. Soft, deliberate, almost polite. At first, I thought I had imagined it. After everything Ethan and I had been through beyond marker 12, sleep had become almost impossible. Every creak of a branch sounded like a threat. Every gust of wind felt like a warning. But this wasn't wind. This wasn't my imagination. Because a few seconds later, it happened again. Tap, tap, tap. Something was touching the outside of our tent, and whatever it was, it wanted us to know it was there. My eyes snapped open. The fire outside had long since died. The forest beyond the thin nylon walls was completely silent. Not normal silent. The unnatural silence we had come to fear. The kind that made your ears ring. The kind that felt like the entire forest was holding its breath. Waiting, watching, listening. Across from me, Ethan was already awake. I could barely see his face in the darkness, but I could hear his breathing. Fast, uneven, terrified. "You heard it too?" I whispered. For several seconds he didn't answer. Then he nodded. "Don't move." His voice was barely audible. Another knock. Tap, tap, tap. This time it came from directly beside my head, only inches away. Every muscle in my body locked. Someone was standing outside the tent. I could feel it, the way animals know when they're being watched, the way prey senses a predator. The air itself felt different, heavier, colder, wrong. Then something slowly dragged across the side of the tent. Rape. The sound made my skin crawl, like a fingernail sliding across fabric. My heart pounded so hard I thought whatever was outside would hear it. Ethan, don't. What if someone needs help? The moment the words left my mouth, I regretted them, because we'd heard that before. Voices asking for help, voices crying, voices begging, and every time it was a trap. Every time. The scraping stopped. Silence returned. Then a voice spoke. A woman's voice. Soft, gentle, familiar. "Ryan?" My blood turned to ice. No. Not possible. Not here. Not now. Because I knew that voice. My mother. Exactly my mother's voice. Not similar. Not close. Perfect. My eyes filled instantly with tears. For a dangerous moment, I wanted to unzip the tent. I wanted to see her. I wanted to believe. The voice came again. "Ryan, sweetheart," my hands trembled. "Come outside." Across from me, Ethan grabbed my wrist, hard. "Don't listen." His grip was shaking, terrified, because he'd heard it too. The voice wasn't in my head. It was outside, standing beside our tent. The voice became softer, more emotional, more convincing. "Please." Then something happened that nearly broke me. The voice started crying. My mother's voice. Crying. The exact way she cried when my grandfather died. The exact way she cried when my parents divorced. The exact way she cried when she thought nobody could hear her. The sound hit me like a knife. I wanted to go outside. I wanted to help. I wanted it to be real. Then Ethan whispered something that saved my life. My mother did the same thing. I froze. "What?" His voice cracked. The first year. Silence. The forest learned her voice. A chill ran through my entire body. Then the crying stopped instantly. Like someone flipped a switch. No transition, no fading, no sniffles, nothing. 1 second tears, the next second absolute silence. And somehow, that was even worse. Then we heard footsteps. Slow, heavy, walking around the tent, circling us again and again and again. Hours seemed to pass. Neither of us slept, neither of us moved. The footsteps never stopped, always just beyond the tent walls. Always watching. Always waiting. Then suddenly, they stopped. The silence felt unbearable. I glanced at my watch, 4:41 a.m., almost sunrise, almost. Then came a single knock, tap. Directly above us. My heart nearly stopped. Above us, not beside the tent. Above it. Something was standing on the roof. The fabric sagged slightly, as though carrying weight, a lot of weight, something much heavier than a human. The tent poles groaned. The entire structure trembled. And then, something began walking across the top. One slow step, then another. The fabric stretched under its weight, yet somehow it never tore, never collapsed. It simply endured. The thing moved from one side of the tent to the other, deliberately, almost curiously, like it was examining us, studying us, learning. Then it stopped directly over my head. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't move. Several drops of liquid landed on my arm. Cold, sticky. I slowly looked down. Dark stains, not water. Something thicker. Something that looked disturbingly like blood. My stomach twisted. Then the weight vanished. Instantly. The roof sprang back into place. The forest became silent again. And for the first time all night, the sun began to rise. Gray light filtered through the trees. Morning. We'd survived. Or so we thought. The moment daylight appeared, Ethan unzipped the tent. We stumbled outside. Exhausted. Shaking. Alive, the clearing looked normal. No creatures, no shadows, no pale figures. Nothing. I almost laughed from relief. Then I looked down, and my relief vanished. The ground surrounding the tent was covered in mud. Fresh mud. Perfect conditions for footprints. Yet there weren't any. Not one. No human tracks, no animal tracks, nothing. The thing had circled our tent all night, walked across the roof, stood outside speaking with my mother's voice, and somehow left no footprints. None. Ethan stared at the ground. His face had gone completely white. Then he pointed upward. My stomach dropped. Deep claw marks covered the trees surrounding us. Massive claw marks, at least 12 feet high, far higher than any human could reach. Far higher than any animal should reach. The bark had been shredded, as though something enormous had surrounded our camp. Watching, waiting, protecting its territory. Then I noticed something carved into one of the trees. Words. Fresh words, words that hadn't been there the night before. My hands trembled as I read them. We found you. The message had been carved deep into the wood, as though by something impossibly strong. Beneath it was another sentence, one that made my blood run cold. Don't let him lead you to the cabin. I looked at Ethan. Ethan looked at me. Neither of us spoke. Because there was only one question that mattered. Who wrote it? And how did they know about Ethan? Before either of us could answer, a distant scream echoed through the forest. Human. Terrified. Desperate. Then another scream answered it. And another. And another. Dozens of voices, coming from the same direction, the direction of the cabin, Ethan's face filled with horror. No. What is it? For a moment he looked like he might cry. Then he whispered 4 words that changed everything. They're taking more people. The forest suddenly trembled. Branches snapped in the distance. Something enormous moved between the trees. And for the first time since entering Marker 12, I realized we were running out of time, because whatever lived here wasn't hiding anymore. It was preparing for something. And somehow, we were part of it. To be continued.